Boxing King Media in association with Boxro. You know it's a big fight week when Sahni pulls out that lilac-y pink blazer.
You see it, dream it, believe it. No, they're Tunde's bars. Yeah, I'm to be honest, mate, I'm running out. So if anyone does want to get me some new blazers, I'm here for it. So yeah.
I've been saying to everyone, I feel like obviously the initial build-up to this fight, most people were against it. But now that we're here fight week, I feel like there's a bit of excitement building because we're 2-3 days away from Tyson Fury fighting in the stadium again.
Exactly, cherish it. Look, you were one of the voices who was quite outspoken regarding the fight, and
to be fair, I think everyone was.
Yeah, and you were amongst those voices. But look, we are 2 days away now, and Tyson Fury, every time he boxes, it is an event. He's the number one heavyweight in the world. He's from this country. He's fighting someone who's very famous in terms of Derek Chisora, and they've guaranteed that the first round is going to be electric. So you've got to tune in for that, haven't you?
Is there a possibility this could be over in a round? Because obviously it doesn't favour Tyson if it's toe-to-toe, because obviously it's only a fight if he stands toe-to-toe with Chisora.
Yeah, I think there is a possibility. I mean, the way they're talking up there, and also they made this sort of handshake agreement in front of me yesterday on the live stream, as you can hear Tyson shouting up there. It sounds like it's just going to be bombs away from the first round. So great news for the fans. I don't know who that suits better, because that is the style that Derek Chisora has had like his whole career. So I don't know if it's bombs away and Tyson gets clipped. It's not great news with Usyk watching on, is it?
It's definitely not, but it's interesting. There seems to be a lot of respect between both of them. And Chisora, he normally kicks off fight week press conferences, but he was very respectful today.
Yeah, look, I think there is respect there. How can there not be respect there? They've shared the ring. They've done, not quite 24 rounds because Tyson's stopped in. So they've done a number of rounds together, and they are from the same era. They are the two feels like they're the two remaining guys who have crossed over from two different eras. Of course, this is Chisora's second chance at a world title. He fought Vitaly Klitschko back in 2010. Might have been 2010 when he fought Vitaly Klitschko, or 2011. But yeah, like he's boxed Klitschko's, Tyson's boxed Vladimir. I think there's a lot of respect there. They've been around each other a long time. They know what they're about, and if there are no negative words to say, they just won't say them. These are 34, 35-year-old men. They're not performing seals, and I quite like the respect, to be honest. Now they're just being raw and honest with each other.
This whole thing with Tyson's going on about the bum a month tour, realistically, how realistic is that? Because at the end of the day, Tyson charges a lot of money to fight, and who's going to be willing to pay him 7, 8, 9 figures a month to fight 12 times a year?
Yeah, I can't imagine it's going to happen. Maybe he'll do a little lock-up in his Morecambe gym, and he'll get someone in, and maybe he'll stream it, maybe on the Queensberry channel, who knows. But I can't imagine realistically he's actually going to fight a bum a month. I mean, the plan is that he fights Usyk in the first part of next year. He's certainly no bum. So, and then hopefully Joyce later in the summer. So no bums allowed, I'm afraid.
Definitely not. I want to speak to you about the interview you've done with Tyson. I think it's out tonight on the. I'm going to charge you for this plug on the Queensberry channel. What can the fans expect? I know you've put a few teasers out, but what can we expect?
They can expect that it's actually already out. It came out last night.
Was it last night?
Yeah.
I've been watching the Instagram reels thinking it's out tonight.
Where is it? But no, it's out. What can you expect? You can expect that 90% of the chat is with Tyson Fury and not the Gypsy King. He descends into the Gypsy King sort of towards the end, where he starts saying all these bums can get it, or they're all going to get knocked out. But the chat away from that, very deep, talking about how his cousin got killed and he got depressed about it, talking about just really deep stuff, miscarriages in his marriage and his mum, and trying to his constant fight between Tyson Fury and the Gypsy King. And he dropped some Eminem bars in there. He said, I created a monster. No one wants to see Tyson Fury no more. They want the Gypsy King. And it's just really interesting. And one of the things he talks about, which I don't think anyone had asked him about, he's now the father to a teenage daughter. How on earth has that happened? Where have the years gone? And he's like, yeah, I am, aren't I? Like, it's a whole new chapter of his life. And his life he's lived out in the public eye, really. And it's fascinating. It's a fascinating interview. He's a fascinating character. And if you haven't watched it yet, please watch it. And
just a couple of other subjects I want to speak to you about. Dalton Smith, everyone's talking about Matchroom and Boxer are gunning for his signature. Obviously, you work for Frank Warren. Is there any interest from you guys in Dalton Smith?
I mean, I love him as a fighter. I think he's a fantastic fighter. In terms of if anyone's spoken to him or his team, I don't know. But on a very broad level, he's a very talented fighter. He's one of the best young prospects that we've got in this country. And hopefully he makes his decision soon and we see him out.
A quick mention on Kell Brook. I don't know if you saw my interview with him the other day. Did you watch it first of all?
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it in its entirety yet. I've seen the clip where he talks about it, yeah.
So based on that clip, do you think it's quite worrying for a lot? Because he won't be the first boxer that's experiencing that. You know, do you think we should do something, or like something should be done to kind of keep boxers involved somehow? Because he's got no interest in training, because that was the first thing I said to him and what most fans are saying.
It's sad, isn't it? It's really, really sad that these guys have these big nights under the lights, and when the lights go off, they've still got to go back to their family. There's nothing to like fill that void. So it's, what can we do to help them? I mean, obviously, like broadcasters can offer them roles in punditry. It's nothing financial with Kell Brook. It's not like, we should contribute towards his pension or anything like that. He's made his money. He's just probably really bored, and it's a fight. It's the next fight, really, for these fighters. What can they do with that time? I don't know what to suggest. To be honest, it's not a great time. It's very like footballers as well. It's the same sort of thing, right? They have that buzz. They're in front of all thousands of people every week, and then it's gone, and it's difficult.
The reason I brought it up is because Tyson obviously experienced similar sort of stuff that he's talked about. So it's interesting, but it kind of proves a point to a lot of people that money doesn't always buy happiness, and sometimes you need like something else.
Well, it's exactly that. You can have all the money in the world if there's something missing in your life. If you sit down and you can't sit with yourself in a quiet room for half an hour because you've got mad thoughts running around your head, then you're not happy, are you? I mean, yeah, it's a tricky spot for some of these fighters. That's why some of them do go into training, some of them go into punditry. They don't never stray far from the game as an attempt to kind of fill that gap. But it's very difficult, and I don't envy that position. Because whatever I'm doing, I would hope that I can just do it until I actually retire, and that will be in many, many, many years. But with these guys, I do feel for them, and I hope they can plug the gap somewhere.
100%. Dev, I really appreciate your time. In fact, if you've got a quick minute, I just want to quickly speak to you about Sam Noakes, Hamzah, Sheeraz. Huge performances from them last week, because I've not spoken to you since.
Huge performances. I love the Hamzah thing. I mean, with River Wilson bent, right, there was a kind of proven... Yeah, exactly. He was a proven guy who'd been the distance with Tyler Denny twice, including a draw with Tyler Denny. And
it's worth mentioning, because I know River's career, he's never been dropped or stopped in the amateur or pro.
Never been dropped, never been stopped, and got hurt, really, it looked like it, from the first jab. That's amazing power from Hamzah Sheeraz. Whatever they're teaching him in these US gyms in California, it is working. With that statement, he announced himself as a real problem in the middleweight division, and I don't know if that Denzel Bentley fight's going to happen anytime soon. Maybe that puts it off a little bit.
Maybe we might get Amir versus Hamzah Sheeraz.
Yeah, Amir Khan. That would be interesting. I hope to hear Hamzah's sort of comeback on everything that Amir's said. But it's no publicity is bad publicity. More people are talking about Hamzah Sheeraz now. I don't know what the issue is there.
On that point, I hate interrupting you. That's actually very true, because I've got a relative who asked me about Hamzah Sheeraz, saying, who's Hamzah Sheeraz? That Amir Khan's been like blasted on TikTok. So I had to explain to him, because everyone knows Adam Azim, but I said this kid's 16, 17 and he can really fight. So it's an interesting point, that, and it works.
So he's been blasted on TikTok, but in the ring he's been blasting people out of there. So we need to get a show reel together of what he's been doing. But he's a real problem. It was a big statement, and I don't know where that puts him in the British middleweight. So I want to see more like that. I want to see him fight people that we know. Sam Noakes, fantastic, 10-0, 10 knockouts. He can now relax. He can breathe easy. I wonder. I have a feeling that his next one won't be a knockout now. I think he's put so much pressure on himself to get to that 10 and 10, and he's finally got there, and fair play to him. Commonwealth title. Dennis McCann, he's the man as well. Big stoppage from him. It was just a really good night, other than obviously what happened with Zach Barker and his injury. But yeah, it was a good show.
Last question, I promise. Frank Warren obviously is not here today. Just a quick word on his health. Is he okay, and can we expect to see him Saturday night?
He's got a very bad back, and hopefully we will see him on Saturday night.
Dave, appreciate your time, man. Thank you.